Orders have been upgraded to mandatory for 5 villages and First Nations communities. The province could also be facing a lawsuit for allegedly not responding adequately to devastating wildfires last month. And up north, 87 fires are burning in Yukon, more than 30 out of control. They prompted several evacuation alerts for communities now preparing to leave at a moment's notice. Farther east, southern Ontario and southern Quebec are in for a sweltering weekend. Millions are under a heat warning, with daytime highs expected to hit the mid-30s and humidex values hovering near 40. Environment Canada says the temperature will only drop to the low 20s overnight. The heat event is expected to end Sunday night. Let's bring in David Phillips now, senior climatologist at Environment Canada. David, thanks for being here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Renee. Yes, we're used to this, Renee. I mean, this is the fourth occasion we've had heat warnings in Montreal and Toronto in the last month. So we're getting almost veterans of these temperature wars. But hey, it's this one corresponds to the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, a 2-day event. Nothing like it was 2 weeks ago when we had that 4-day period of temperatures up to 36 degrees and humidex values at 46. This one is certainly a little bit less. It's more healthy. It's less bothersome to people. But nevertheless, it's just something that we're going to see a lot of this summer.
Is this the new normal, David?
Well, hard to say, Renee. I think it is what I think was sort of unusual for me is that it came later. I mean, we've had a lot of heat recently. I mean, in the last month. But boy, we didn't have a touch of it in May, and we had to go to almost the third week of June to see our first kind of a day where we would say it was kind of noticeably warm. So we've had some intense warmth. We've had the duration of 3 or 4 days long, which is always concerning to me. The nights have been very warm, up to 23, 24, 25 degrees at night, when they should usually be down below 20, 18. So that's been a morning, noon, and night kind of a situation. And of course, the humidex values have been fairly high because we've had some spring rains. We're going to see this southerly air from the United States. And so it is something, Renee, that people are kind of, we're expecting. They're used to it, I think. They've discovered where their linens are and how to keep cool and keep those shades down. And so all of the things that people, our parents and teachers told us about, well, we're practicing this. But Renee, I tell you, we haven't even reached the dog days of summer yet. I mean, that typically comes at the end of July and the beginning of August, where we get statistically our warmest moment. So hey, I think we're just getting used to it, but hey, there seems to be a lot of them, but it's not over. I mean, nature doesn't count the numbers and then all of a sudden stops giving you them. I think this is the pattern we're going to see right through to Labor Day.
Now, residents in Western Canada are contending with more air quality alerts due to ongoing wildfires. How bad do you expect it to get in that part of the country?
Well, I mean, clearly good thing about the east is we're not smelling the smoke from Western Canadian fires. And that was the situation we had before we got warm here, because we could smell summer, but we didn't feel it. And then all of a sudden we start feeling it. But we're not seeing the smoke from this one. But, you know, Renee, they've had some very warm conditions. May is when their summer was, and certainly it's not over yet. And still continues, Renee. They're too dry, too hot, and for too long. And so that's going to be a threat to them right through until we get to the first snows that fall in the fall. I mean, it's just something that is just very much part of the Canadian scene, the lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer. It's very much upon us, and we're seeing that not necessarily across the country, but certainly in the West. They've had some terrible times with the looking, the feeling, and the tasting of what summer is like.
Yes, certainly hope people have access to air conditioning this summer. It is a hot one. David, thank you very much for being here with us today. That is David Phillips, senior climatologist at Environment Canada. Affordable housing is hard to find, but the same cannot be said when it comes to the office. A new report says almost a third of downtown Waterloo, Ontario's office space is sitting empty. CTV's Jeff Pickle brings us a breakdown of the numbers.
It's a sign you see a lot in Canadian cities. Office space for rent is not hard to find. A new report from the CBRE shows that downtown office space in the region sits at 30% among the very highest in Canada. Many cities enduring the same exodus from the office, with Toronto at an 18% vacancy downtown and nearby London at 31%. Across Canada, 20% of downtown office space is empty. However, the CBRE says the vacancy rates have plateaued and is hopeful a rebound could be in the future. The work from home shift during the pandemic a major contributor, but the study also found an uncertain economic situation slowing down the return.
Absolutely. It's definitely something we're aware of. It's also something we're not alone in.
Downtown Kitchener City Councillor Stephanie Stretch says the city is focused on cultivating a new downtown workforce through innovation.
What the city of Kitchener we've done is we've really invested in some of our startups. So through Communitech and through the University of Waterloo, Velocity is an incubator, and it's seeing a large number of startups, which should translate for us into more office space being used downtown.
She says the slow and steady return to work policies should bring more people back to the office. But at the end of the day, it's about creating a vibrant downtown.
You know, it's top of my list. It's staff. We're working on a lot of some of those really basic things like safety and security so that we're able to make our downtown core great.
The CBRE report says office construction across Canada sits at a 20-year low. They also say there's been a 1-year drought with no new downtown office construction across Canada within the last year. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
Coming up, the Calgary Stampede is in full swing, with some Canadian leaders expected to drop by today. We'll check in after a quick break. Second day of the annual Calgary Stampede, and political party leaders are meeting with event goers, flipping pancakes, and attending barbecues. Prime Minister Mark Carney is scheduled to attend a pancake breakfast this morning and a Liberal Party fundraiser later in the day. Meanwhile, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre will be attending the Canada First Stampede barbecue at Heritage Park in Calgary. The start of the event saw Canadian country music superstar Shania Twain serving as this year's parade marshal.
How much fun would this be, though, if you're in the crowd?
Oh. Great time to see a star like that.
Oh,
yes.
gosh.
The parade, which drew an estimated 300,000 people, is the official launch of the 10-day celebration of the Western way of life. Last summer, the Stampede as a whole attracted almost 1.5 million people. And staying at the Stampede, the Prime Minister is now on hand, arriving just moments ago, doing for the first time what many of his predecessors have done for years, attend the annual Calgary Stampede. He's flipping some pancakes there. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre also expected to make an appearance today. And to talk more about the Stampede, I'm joined by Pauline Gita, owner and founder of Bullets and Beads, a jewelry business and vendor at the Calgary Stampede. Paulina, welcome. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
You did. Thank you. Welcome to Stampede.
Thank you so much. What has it been like so far at the Stampede? Paint a picture for our viewers of what you've been seeing so far.
Absolutely. We're in the Makers Market here, which is the artisan part of the Stampede. And I have to say, it's early. We're 2 days in, but there's a buzz. And I don't know whether it's Shania or whether the economy is starting to pick up again, but there's definitely a buzz. People are shopping. They are milling about. It's been fairly busy for the first 2 days.
Now, how would you compare the energy and also the attendance at the Stampede this year to last year?
Well, I was here last year, and it is very comparable to last year. I know that the pre-sales for the Stampede are actually higher this year than they were last year. So I think it's a good sign. It's looking up.
And we're just looking at some footage. Looks like beautiful weather there as well. And now, you were a vendor last year as well as this year. What impact does the Stampede tend to have on your business?
You know what? I'm from Vancouver, and I come out primarily for the Stampede to Alberta. And you know what? It is a large part of our year, actually, for our sales. It's great for not only Alberta economy, but for us as a business, just to get the word out that there are local artisans that rely on these sales and our year. it's great to get the word out, to get to know everybody, to really rely on not only, getting that that word of mouth for all of us, but just to kind of spread out and get to other parts of the province as a business. It's fantastic.
I have to ask, was that I think we just saw a picture of Mel Gibson wearing some of your wares that you sell there. When did that happen?
That actually, we were part of the Emmys Gifting Suite twice in the last couple of years, and you'll notice that the two producers on either side are very good friends that actually came from the Emmys Gifting Suite. So we recently have worked with Mel Gibson and the two producers to produce custom pieces for an upcoming movie of Mel's.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. That is very exciting. Oh, Paulina, we have to end it there. That is our time. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and enjoy the rest of the Stampede.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing everybody. Come visit all the artisans out in the Makers Market. We'd love to see you all.
Take care. Thanks, Paulina. That's Paulina Gita, owner and founder of Bullets and Beats, a vendor at the Congress Stampede. And as people gather for the Stampede, doctors are warning particular individuals to be careful. CTV's Jacqueline Wilson.
Whether it's a packed parade, midway, or indoor Stampede event, people are everywhere. And that might include people infected with measles, a highly contagious virus that can remain in the air for a couple of hours.
Measles is world class, and its ability to infect people with relatively minor amounts of contact. So I think the question would be more, where couldn't you get it at the Stampede? And the answer to that is probably outside, probably in rides where, there's a lot of movement.
Dr. Talbot says Stampede checks the boxes for potentially being a super spreader event as Alberta experiences an outbreak.
To be a super spreader event, there are a couple of things that need to be in place. One, you need to have a highly infectious virus, and measles qualifies for that. There needs to be activity in the province, which is still happening, and you need to have venues in which large numbers of people from around the world will gather together.
As people made their way to the grounds, few are concerned.
No, we don't have any concern about that. We're okay, I think.
Didn't even think about it. No, not really. They've all been vaccinated, so that's probably part of it.
No, because I've been vaccinated.
The most recent reporting shows there are 11 new cases of measles in Alberta, bringing the total to 1,190.
We are concerned that there will be broader measles spread, and in particular people from either regions of the province that haven't had measles yet or other parts of Canada or internationally.
While the risk to fully vaccinated adults is relatively low, it's those who are not vaccinated, pregnant, under 5 years old, or immunocompromised who should be careful.
The individual risk is relatively low, especially if you're fully vaccinated. Go on and enjoy, the Stampede is a party, but we do have to be mindful that there is a rather potent virus out there this year.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
3 people were hospitalized following a lion attack in Pakistan. We'll show you the shocking video ahead.
Trust CTV News Channel to deliver live, breaking, 24 hours a day. Download the CTV News app or stream anytime at ctvnews.ca.
Towards 2 children. The woman suffered injuries and all 3 were taken to a hospital and are in stable condition. The Wildlife Department captured the lion and legal action was taken against the owners. Security experts are warning homeowners to think before they post online. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows you, uploading travel plans and pics to social media in real time can attract unwelcome guests to your empty home.
When social media influencer Hannah Logan took a trip to Greece last month, she shared a photo with her followers on Instagram, showing them the breathtaking beach views, tagging its location. But then something unsettling happened.
A few hours later, when we go to leave and I open my phone and I open Instagram, I have a message from a random guy on the island who's saying, "Oh, hey, I'm here too."
She says nothing escalated, but admits the situation was an eye-opener.
You know, for someone who works in the industry and knows better, that was definitely a reminder. Like, this is why you do not post in real time.
But she isn't the only one. A new poll found nearly 32% of Canadian social media users post about their vacation plans, with 9% posting their plans before a trip, 28% post during their trip, and 15% of people say sharing on social media is more of a priority than keeping their home safe from a break-in.
For us, that's actually like quite an alarming statistic because 50% of people actually prioritize putting the pictures for people to know that they're on vacation is more important for them than having their home safe, which it should be the complete. It should be 0% of people that put that pictures are of a priority.
Security expert Brian McLennan says there are simple things homeowners can do to protect themselves and their property, like have a house sitter. But if that's not possible,
make sure if you can get an alarm system, get cameras if you can. The Ring doorbells or the Google Nest are really good to catch at least something. And if nothing else, just the lights themselves. Like I said, you can put them on different timers. So they flick on at different times on any day of the week, and that way it looks like there is somebody actually moving throughout the house.
For those like Logan, where sharing her daily life and travel is a part of her job, she says she'll take precautions moving forward.
I think it's more about, planning and posting smartly. Like, share your vacation and share where you are. Just don't share it exact real time. And one of the things I found a big thing is don't geotag, right? People don't need to know exactly where you are.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News.
If a layover or two was what got in the way of you visiting Peru, this next story may be for you. Direct flights to Lima from Montreal and Toronto are back. Beginning in December, travelers will be able to fly directly to the capital of Peru. The service offered by Air Canada was suspended in March of 2023. One of the country's most iconic landmarks and one of the 7 wonders of the world, Machu Picchu, is accessible from Lima via a short domestic flight. As we head to break, hundreds of thousands of people gathered in the British capital of London today for the city's annual Pride Parade. The parade is the largest across the United Kingdom, with attendance in recent years growing to 1.5 million. The event also saw live music performances on stages across the city. You're watching CTV News Channel. Top stories are next.
Don't miss out.